And they'll be very happy with the way they've started so far and the return to the championship, and it's just a continued upward trend since Ian McCall went to Somerset Park. And it's a traditional club, you know, it's a club that you want to see doing well, very much like St Mirren. It's a game I'm looking forward to today.
St Mirren 4 defeats on the bounce as they're in the all-white top. It's Ayr United in the red. And John Sutton able to keep the ball in play. Seen out by Scott McKenna, who just arrived on Friday. It's his second spell with the Honest Men. It's just a 28-day loan from Aberdeen, so he may not be here for all that long.
28 days, really. That's how long he'll be here for.
Very true. But you could call it almost a month. It's cleared up the line by Paddy Doyle. Jack Ross, his Alloa side, was doing very well, and that's what attracted St Mirren to his services. It hasn't quite worked out his start with his new team, but he's certainly got a lot of tinkering to do with the squad. He feels perhaps, is there an imbalance in the squad, Michael?
Well, I think when you look at the side overall, I think yes, it does look a bit threadbare at the back and in the middle of the park, where you would look for some defensive cover. They've got plenty of options in attack and attacking midfield, but that can be the difficulty at times when you're working within a confined budget. It can sometimes end up where you are lacking in certain parts of the squad, and I've no doubt that Jack Ross will be looking to try and remedy that at some point in the next year or so.
Clarkson and Morgan were looking to link up. Irvin just caught on the ball. Morgan threads it through to Kyle McGuinness. This is Gary McKenzie, one of the changes in the starting lineup. Jack Baird came through the academy, as so many of the starting lineup did. It's nicely knocked on to Clarkson, whose effort is straight at Greg Fleming. Encouraging signs so early on for St Mirren.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was plenty of space there, and the knockdown was cute. It was aware, good work from David Clarkson. I mean, you can see he's disappointed that when he cuts it back onto his right foot, that he's not managed to, just guide it to the side of the goalkeeper, Greg Fleming, and make it a wee bit more difficult for him there. It was just down his throat, and it ended up being an easy save, but it was good work initially from David Clarkson.
Former Motherwell man was the hero in the last round, an 82nd minute winner at Easter Road to defeat Hibernian. Both sides have played a lot of football in this competition so far. 3 of their 4 games have gone to extra time. Got forward by Baird. But Kyle McAllister, the Scotland under-17 international, unable to catch the ball. Just a little bit too much zip on it there from Baird.
It was the right idea though, early on in the game you look to try and turn the opposition. It was Baird that played the ball forward earlier when Clarkson got the strike off as well, and it looked as if, to be honest, when he first played it, as if McAllister was going to be able to get on the end of it, but it just, as you said, skipped off the surface and ran out for a by kick.
We talked a little bit about it yesterday, Michael, and we looked at the Dunfermline squad and starting 11 and thought they're far too good to be sitting in 9th. It's a fairly similar case with St Mirren.
Yeah, you would say that at the outset when you look at the squad that they've got plenty of experience in there as well. That it's a surprise to find them where they are, languishing at the bottom of the table. And they need to rectify it and turn it around quickly, otherwise it becomes very, very difficult. Confidence takes a huge hit the longer these things go on as well, and it becomes more difficult the longer it passes.
It does just show, though, how competitive the championship has become in recent years. Hearts, Rangers have been in there, Hibernian dropping down, Dundee United likewise, but the other clubs have really raised their games.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is look at Falkirk, Wraith Rovers, Queen of the South, teams that over the past few years have put together good performances and have raised their game when the bigger teams have been relegated and dropped down. And then, great credit to Ayr United as well. We're talking about them coming up from League One, and they're doing their team and their fans proud with the way they've, as I said, Ian McCall's taken over, and he's done a fantastic job at Somerset Park. Ever since he's gone in, there's been an upward trajectory, and he's a good manager. I think he's spoken at length about having lost his way in years gone by, and that he owes a lot to the club, to Ayr United, for giving him a chance, and he's certainly repaying them.
And a two-time Challenge Cup winner as a player with Falkirk in 1992, and then as manager of Catrionians in 2001. Top field from Doyle, looking to get Harkins into the play. We talked about Mallon as a key man for St Mirren. Gary Harkins, the key player for Ayr United for you?
Well, he certainly can be. He's somebody with wonderful ability and technique, and he's playing in a slightly unfamiliar role. I can't say I've seen him playing centre forward too often, but he's somebody that you want to get the ball as much as possible to his feet. He's not going to run in behind, and when you do get the ball to his feet, he's capable of creating something out of nothing. He's obviously got a bit of history here at St Mirren as well, and I'm pretty sure he'll be keen to put on a performance.
He certainly put on a performance in the last round. The winner against Falkirk to get Ayr United into the quarter-finals. Really two of the shocks of the round, St Mirren knocking out Hibernian and Ayr United taking care of Falkirk. It's McKenna into the feet of Kearney, and who started his career here in Paisley. Header knocked on by Doyle. Alan Forrest has interest in that. He didn't quite get there before the flag was raised. Scott Gallagher, who starts in goals ahead of Jamie Langfield, who was playing with or under Jack Ross last season at Alloa. He arrived at St Mirren in the summer. Balatoni's header. Now Sutton looking to play Morgan in. He looks keen to come off that left flank and get involved with Clarkson and Sutton. Fleming goes long, but headed back by Baird. Balatoni and Kearney, but there was a shove in the back of Robbie Crawford. Balatoni infield for Ross Docherty. Good defending, stepping out by Jack Baird. Crawford, Balatoni, now McKenna. Mallon, and it's given away. Crawford now. Crawford to take aim. It was a good hit. Scott Gallagher holds on to it well. Decent effort by Robbie Crawford.
Yeah, it was a bit slack play from Mallon to begin with, and Ayr pounced on it. Eventually came to Crawford there, and it was a good strike. Had Gallagher just scrambling across his line to make sure he got the strike under control, and he held it well. There's a wee bit of rain in the air. It can sometimes make the ball quite slippy, but Gallagher and St Mirren goal, he dealt with that well.
the third meeting of these two teams this season. Ayr United were beaten here in the League Cup. Jack Baird scored in the 90th minute to win that. It was actually Ayr United, though, that progressed through the group stages. Both sides had won 3 and lost 1. Ayr United went through, were then knocked out by Aberdeen at Somerset Park, and then they met in the league in August. 1-1 draw down in Ayrshire. But again, it was another late St Mirren goal from Tom Walsh that gained then Alex Ray's side a point. And the free kick goes against St Mirren. Clarkson and Mallon not too happy about that.
Let's say I was a wee bit surprised with that. It looked, to all intents and purposes, like Clarkson and Mallon had closed Crawford down really well and won the ball back, but the referee saw differently.
It's McKenna's long ball dealt with by Baird. Back to Scott Gallagher. His first appearance under Jack Ross. Away by Gary McKenzie. Former Dundee United and Queen of the South boss. They're the two sides already into the semi-finals. Kenny and McCall lead Ayr United through. See the slitty surface there as Ross Docherty took a slide. It's Irvin back to McKenzie. And he looks long for the run of John Sutton. Not much chance to catch that though.
No, a couple of things playing against that one working out. The fact that it was John Sutton that was chasing it, he was never going to be able to get on the end of it, but also we saw earlier when the ball slides through, very difficult to get on the end of it, as we see the shot from Crawford again. Gallagher does really well, you know, he gets his two hands on there and looked very, very competent all the way. Never looked like he was going to drop that shot. Good goalkeeping, but a very, very good strike as well from Crawford, and that, to be honest, is what you've got to look to do on a day like this. Get as many shots off as possible, because if you can try and keep it on the deck as well, and you can just slide off the surface like we've just seen with those two through balls in the last 5 minutes, one for McAllister, one for Sutton. As soon as it touches the ground, it shoots off.
Tackles certainly flying in. It was Ross Docherty who was penalised for the barge in the back of David Clarkson.
Don't think there will be any complaints there from Docherty.
It's Baird. Sutton the target, it's too much on it, and Greg Fleming able to claim. And now Ayr United looking to get Alan Forrest involved. Mallon did well, but the break of the ball, it's won back by Crawford. This is Forrest. His brother James was starting for Scotland down at Wembley, but Alan Forrest himself gained international recognition last week. Came off the bench rather for the Scotland under-21s for his first cap. It's Kearney. Just too high, but the first two real sightings of goal coming the way of Ayr United.
Yeah, I think Jack Ross will not be too happy. It's a simple throw-in. You look at the space that Kearney's got there, you can't really be affording that sort of space from a simple throw-in and 30-35 yards out from goal. Quite easily the next time round they could be hitting the target and making Scott Gallagher work again, or he's got the time to bring it down and look to play a wee slide rule pass for one of the front three to run through on. Got to set up a bit more compact and alert from set plays than they did there, St Mirren.
It's an ambitious formation from Ian McCall, going with the three attacking players, but such is the form of Alan Forrest, who's got 7 goals, and also Craig McGuffey, mentioned Alan Forrest's international recognition. Ian McCall has also recommended Craig McGuffey for an under-19s call-up. It's a little loose from Devlin, and hearing after it was Kyle McAllister. Crawford. Forrest won't win too many of them against Gary Irvine. Crawford over the top of Harkins, but here's Forrest. Harkins steals it from McKenzie, and it will be an Ayr United throw. McKenna. Ballatoni. Harkins looks to flick the ball on, but Irvine just took a slight knock as he challenged. Signed last January from Dundee, Gary Irvine, and has come in to captain the team under Jack Ross. Harkins from McGuffey. Kearney now. Doyle. Alan Forrest has played much of the season as the striker in this side, and quite keen to venture infield and get more involved. Naismith towards Sutton. Well, that was certainly solid from Scott McKenna. It was also illegal.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes as a defender, you've got to recognise that you can't win the ball. You know, as we see the replay coming in here, John Sutton's taking a sore one there, but the flight of the ball, you're not going to be able to win that without clattering the player, and you're never going to get away with that. You know, that's right through the back of John Sutton. He'll argue that he's won the ball and he's got a clean header on it, but he's just not going to get away with that sort of tackle nowadays, going right through the back of the St Mirren player, jumping into them, but also with his arm across John Sutton's face there. Young McKenna, sometimes I think you've just got to recognise that you can't get it.
17 minutes into his second debut for the club, he has shown a yellow card. Devlin, the captain, wins the first header. Clarkson knocked away by Doyle. Harkins chasing down Baird. He took a real chance there. Baird eventually deals with it.
Yeah, but Jack Ross will have his heart in his mouth watching that sort of defending. You can't allow it to bounce around and be so lacklustre in attacking the ball. You know, at the other end, we've just spoken about McKenna being overzealous with his attacking of the ball, and then it goes up the other end of the park, and Baird for St Mirren allowing the ball to bounce, giving Gary Harkins a chance to try and steal it off of him.
Sutton won the challenge. It will be an Ayr United throw. It's 2005 that St Mirren won this trophy. Ayr United have in two finals in the first two times that they played in the tournament. The first time they lost in 1990 after extra time, 3-2 victory for Dundee, and that was 16 years ago today. Mackenzie Clarkson got there ahead of Devlin. Now Naismith, and he has options in the middle instead. Looks to Mallon. Naismith again, and it's drilled low across, and it came off Ballatoni, and he did enough to knock it over the top, but he breathes a sigh of relief.
It was a really good ball in from Naismith, just zipped along the deck. I think it's a wee bit of a sigh of relief from Ballatoni that he sees that one going over the bar, because that really could have gone anywhere. Could easily have nestled in the back of the net. But we saw a number of crosses yesterday getting played in behind the defenders, and I was saying that's what you want. You want to get your defenders facing their own goal, and that was what Naismith's ball did.
Mallon to take it. Attacked by Baird. Comes out to the edge of the box. It was well struck by Kyle McAllister. McAllister has it again. There's a man down in the middle of the box, and therefore Crawford Allen will stop the play, but it was some brave defending from Nicky Devlin, or Paddy Boyle rather, and he's
taking a real dunt on the nose, I think, there. But you're right, it was a wonderful strike first of all from McAllister, but then look at that, Boyle flinging himself in front, making sure that, I think it's David Clarkson that's going in to try and get it, and he might well get a boot in the head from his teammate McKenna, and I think that could be what's caused the cut. But that's great defending. That's what you want to see from your defenders, putting their body on the line to stop the opponent. But a great strike from McAllister, wasn't it?
17 years of age, Scotland under 17 international.
It's one of those that he perhaps caught it too well, you know, right down the throat again of Greg Fleming. Well, not quite right down the throat, just to the side slightly, but sometimes if you sclaff those ones, they end up nestling in the bottom corner or somewhere in the side of the net. That one was down the middle of the goal.
I've been miss-hitting shots for years, they never end up in the bottom corner. Mallon now to Irvine. It's a long chase for McGuinness. Nicky Devlin has been ever present this season for Ayr United. It's nicely done. And Irvine wins the corner off Devlin. Still Ayr United trying to get Paddy Doyle back into the play as they patch him up side of the pitch. Well, up come Gary McKenzie and Jack Baird to give something for Stevie Mallon to aim at. The goalkeeper does enough just to claw it away. Naismith now, but Crawford can come away. Now McKenna to Ballatoni. No option up the right hand side, but in comes Ross Docherty. Paddy Doyle has gone up the tunnel. Further treatment required for the left back. Now here's Morgan and a chance to run at Devlin. It's excellent defending though by the Ayr captain. Harkins, but Baird beats him in the air. Harkins looks to win it back. A strong challenge coming in by McGuinness. Now a chance for McAllister. Breezes past his man into the middle, looking for Clarkson, and it just drifted behind the St Mirren striker. McGuinness. McAllister's on again. They're trying to get the ball out to the right hand side in the absence of Doyle. Docherty now to Crawford. They just need to slow things down, take the tempo out of the game while they're down to 10 men. It's Nicky Devlin. Well, McGuffey just waited on that one, and that allowed the defender to step in. The suggestion from the touchline is that Paddy Doyle will not return. It looks like Darryl Meggett gets the call early on. It's 25 minutes until he had to make his involvement. He dropped out the team from last week, former Dundee player. And former Alloa player as well, but he did leave before Jack Ross took over. It's not quite a like-for-like change. Daryl Meggetts plays most of his football at centre-back, and having to just move out one to the left-hand side of the back four. Crawford under pressure from Clarkson, unable to find McGuffey, who's come over to this right-hand side. Clarkson's gone left, Forrest down the middle, so those three just interchanging. Morgan. Mackenzie. Baird. Confidence levels must be low here in Paisley. 1 win in 14. There was an extra time victory in this tournament. They didn't require extra time in the last round against Hibernian. Now Harkins. It was well won back by Naismith to Morgan, and now Clarkson looks to be released. Out comes the goalkeeper Fleming to safely knock it out. The ball again just skipping off this wet surface. Clarkson to Irvin. It's well marshalled initially by Ballatoni, but he was disappointed to then knock the ball out for a corner kick.
Good quick play from Irvin. You know, he recognised that there was still the space to attack down the side, and Clarkson had made that good run over the top to begin with, and Irvin picked the ball up and took a quick throw in, and he's got his side a corner now.
It's Mallon, right footed again. Fleming goes up, it's a good take. Forrest beaten to it by McGuinness. It's just Kyle McGuinness's third appearance for the club. His second of the season. He did start against Dumbarton last week, keeps his place. It's nicely done by Mallon. Mallon tries to thread it through the middle. Morgan did well. Mallon, and now an opening for Sutton. Great save by Fleming. He got down low and got enough on it, and Ballatoni just about kept the ball in play. It was a good hit by Sutton. Fleming.
It really was. Sorry, Rory, just keeping an eye on the game there as the replay was being shown, and talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You know, wonderful play from St Mirren, from Mallon in particular, to create that opportunity, and Sutton got a great strike. Fleming with another wonderful save, but then they get a throw in. Mackenzie's got lots of time and space. He just miscontrols it and allows Gary Harkins to nick in. You see it here. You know, terrible first touch. And Harkins is away and he gets brought down. You know, you start to build up a wee head of steam and get pressure on the opposition, and the ball goes back to Mackenzie, and he just allows it all to disappear. Good quick thinking from Harkins as well, though, to recognise the poor touch from Mackenzie and to get on top of him.
And Gary Mackenzie is the second player to be booked. He joins Scott McKenna in Crawford Allen's notebook. Just a slight injury being attended to on the far side for Kyle McAllister. And he just trots off just at the left-hand side of your picture. Should be fine to continue though. It's Docherty who launches towards McKenna. And Irvin quite happy just to see the ball out. Devlin. Now Mallon. And that's got interest for McAllister. Clarkson tries to maintain the attack, and he has it now. David Clarkson out wide. Now McAllister. Naismith. Clarkson again. It was well won though by Docherty, who was felled, and the free kick will now be given. It'll just be a talking to, I suspect, for David Clarkson.
Yeah, I think so. You see, as the ball comes into Clarkson here, is just blindsided by Docherty. Clear foul, but I think Crawford Allen makes the right decision. Just have a quiet word with David Clarkson there.
Perhaps a bit of frustration there. St Mirren looked to be in a good position and going forward. Naismith taking no chances, knocking the ball out. And Forrest will just leave the ball for Megget. Megget to Forrest. Ball just about stayed in play. It's won by Clarkson. Sutton beaten by McKenna. Clarkson in an Ayr United sandwich. Ballatoni to Docherty, and he's closed down by two St Mirren players. Fleming, and it's missed by Baird. Well, he flicked it on. Crawford, now McGuffey. He's done well here to hold on to the ball, but he's running down a blind alley. Devlin back to Ballatoni, who will leave it for the goalkeeper, Greg Fleming.
The game's crying out for a goal now. It's at that stage where it's had this initial burst that's settled down a little bit, and it's really needing a goal to try and lift it. Both sides are have created one or two things. I think St Mirren have had the better of the play, and that man there, McAllister, I think he's been lively. He's been a good out ball for St Mirren, but they really need to try and get a goal.
Not sure he's going to be able to continue though. Kyle McAllister, he did go off for treatment just a few minutes ago. This is McGuffey, the shot well blocked, but it breaks the way of Forrest. And straight into the arms of Gallagher.
Again, good composed goalkeeping from Gallagher. It rebounds well into Forrest's path, and you see Harkins in the middle of the goal screaming for a cutback, but I think at that area of the park you'd expect Forrest all day long to have the strike. I think that's what he's trying to say to him. He says, I'm in good goal scoring form, Gary, how are you going to expect me to pass that?
Well, when Alan Forrest has 7 goals this season, Gary Harkins has 1.
Yes, but I think Gallagher's done well, in the St Mirren goal. Everything he's had to do, he's done well. He's had a safe pair of hands, he's not spilt anything.
Now McAllister, nice turn into McGuinness. Mallon, a sliding challenge coming in from McGuffey. Morgan, it's touched on, and Sutton just couldn't quite move his body to exercise a chance.
It was good build-up play from St Mirren here, and that's a really, really good ball in from Morgan. And you see there, I think Sutton's perhaps trying to say that he was getting filled, but I think again Crawford Allen's made the right decision. But there you go, Morgan cuts back onto his right foot and put in a really, really dangerous ball there.
It's always a Sutton speciality when you're very good at making it look like you're fouled when you're not.
A family trait.
This time Mallon leaves it, and the leap comes in from Gary McKenzie, clawed out by the goalkeeper. It's still on for St Mirren, and surely climbing there once again. McKenzie coming close.
It's a wonderful ball in. It just doesn't get enough on it. It's a wee bit lower, and he's getting put under pressure. You see there, I think it might actually be, Gary Harkins that it effectively comes off in the end, but under real pressure from McKenzie. He attacked it well, and just not enough pace on it to cause Greg Fleming any real problems. And I've been giving praise to Gallagher at one end. I think you've got to say the same thing for Fleming as he just shanks that clearance. But I think he's, again, everything he's been asked to do, he's done well.
Back it comes to Gary McKenzie. A free transfer after being released by Doncaster Rovers. Played a lot of his football down in England. 5 years ago he was involved in the Scotland squad, never managed to gain a cap. A number of players out for St Mirren today. 2 unavailable due to being cup-tied in Ben Gordon and Ryan Hardy, who played for Rangers under-20s earlier on in this competition. But Andy Webster and Rocco Quinn also unavailable through injury.
When you read through the list of players that are at St Mirren, it just emphasises for me why they shouldn't be where they are. They've got more than enough ability, and you're talking about the guys there as well. Yeah, perhaps coming towards the end of their career, 1 or 2 of them, but good experience. And when you mix it with a few of the youngsters, then I think that there's a good enough balance and mix that they should be doing a lot better.
A club that have certainly always brought through good young players. There's a good crop here at the moment, and the aim seems to be to mix that with the experience of the likes of McKenzie and Clarkson and Sutton.
Again, Jack Bairdo at the back, just taking a wee bit too much time on the ball. When you're under pressure, yeah, I'm all for showing composure, but sometimes it doesn't look so much like composure. It looks more like indecisiveness, not sure what he's going to do with it.
It's well worked by Mallon and Irvin to get Morgan involved again. He cuts onto the right foot. Clarkson couldn't quite get in front of his man.
Good run from Clarkson. I think that time, Lewis Morgan, when he cut back onto his right foot, we saw the wonderful ball he put in before. That one wasn't so great, but Clarkson there, he was the guy that cut across the front post, the near side here, and he made the cross perhaps better than it was looking.
Docherty. Now to Harkins, hasn't quite had the influence he'd have liked so far. That's a good ball to pick out Devlin, and the cutback turned away by Irvin. Better though from Ayr United.
Yeah, it was a wonderful pass to get inside Gary Irvin, Nicky Devlin, the 2 captains up against each other there. And Nicky Devlin did really well once he got to the byline, just to compose himself.
McGuffey takes the corner, it's short to Docherty. Asks a lot of the youngster, but McGuffey still has it. Left-footed, well wide of the target.
Not 100% sure that was what was planned. He fired it in at the near post there, and then it got fired right back at him, and I'm not convinced that was what was planned. But McGuffey managed to make something out of it. He worked the angle, he he got himself in a position to have the strike, but it was high, wide and handsome.
Into the last 5 minutes of this first half. Still awaiting the breakthrough. It has been goals that have been the problem for both sides, particularly in the league. The two lowest scorers in the championship. So no real surprise that we're at 0-0 with 41 minutes played. McAllister looks to have recovered from that earlier injury. Comes off Mallon. Perhaps Jack Ross will wait till half-time to make a decision on the right-sided midfielder.
I'm pretty sure that he'll be wanting to give him as long as possible. Jack Ross, I'm quite sure he'll not be wanting to make a snap decision, and he's looked okay. For me, I think he's played well, but I think since there was a suggestion that he was maybe struggling, he looks like he's been okay. So I've no doubt, as you said, that Jack Ross will be wanting to wait till half time and get a better understanding of what's wrong.
Morgan knocked out by Meggett. There's been a succession of corners for St Mirren. They've had chances from them. You would have thought Gary McKenzie would be heading up to cause more mayhem. There he is, joining Baird and Naismith. Certainly a sizable back four that St Mirren have. Irvin being the exception. Mallon, Naismith, and blocked off by Meggett. St Mirren have looked the more likely throughout. Can they get their reward before the break? Clarkson will leave it for Naismith. Mallon can keep it before the byline. Baird again gets in front of Harkins. Meggett to Devlin. He's just launched high. Suddenly Ayr United haven't won too many high balls against the St Mirren back four. Harkins shrugs off his man, quick feet. This is good stuff from Gary Harkins. Well, he burst into life there. That's the Gary Harkins we all know. Morgan now trying to use his pace, and he's a little unfortunate. The ball just clipping off his heels as Devlin did a good job in getting back.
Yeah, it was really good defending from Devlin. Morgan initially got the run on him, and the Ayr United captain got back well, but yeah, you're just talking about Gary Harkins. That's what his game's all about. And you were just mentioning before, he hasn't won too many balls in the air like this coming up to him. I'm pretty sure he's sick to death of these balls getting thumped up to him, because it's not his game. He wants to get the ball down and use his quick feet, like we just saw in that last passage of play, almost working his way through the whole St Mirren defence.
Clarkson finds Sutton, now Naismith, who's advancing well down the right hand side. McAllister, Doherty gets in the way of the cross. Now Forrest, he has pace if they can get him running. There'll be a further minute. Meggett towards Harkins. Irvine has to play it. Devlin nips in front of Lewis Morgan. Sutton had his arm all over Devlin. And maybe a chance here for Ayr United, possibly with the last move of this first half to get some bodies up into the box. McKenna is there, Ballatoni too. And it's up to Paul Kearney to deliver with the right foot. It's clipped in, it's towards Ballatoni. Well won though by Baird and Mallon. Clear, and that brings up the half-time whistle. Ripple of applause for the sides. Look, when St Mirren have been experiencing so many defeats, particularly here, their home form has been very poor indeed. But it's the two goalkeepers really who have been on top rather than defences. Greg Fleming and Scott Gallagher making some decent saves. And it's up to the managers now to give their final words. Half-time score here in Paisley is St Mirren 0, Ayr United 0.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goal.
In the Peterborough goal at all. Dislocated his thumb. Hughes with this throw for Peterborough, who themselves are looking to improve their promotion bid with victory here today. To hold on to this 1-0 lead or improve upon it, they'll be climbing up to 5th from their current spot of 11th. Hughes with a chance to cross again. I think the final touch came off him, and indeed the goal kick has been given. On the last 3 in a row, Peterborough, but 2 of those wins have come in cup competitions. Last week against non-league Chesham in the FA Cup, and on Tuesday away to Barnet in the Football League Trophy. But Parkinson's Bolton got the better of Grimsby a week ago in the FA Cup, but then lost in the Football League Trophy away to Cheltenham on Tuesday. Just been given the Manager of the Month award for October, Phil Parkinson. We all know what a poison chalice that can be. It's forward by Taylor. Medine cushioning it down for Zach Cuff. This is more promising. Now Amiobi on one to Wilson to cross. Medine is at the back post and couldn't get over it. Couldn't get any power in it at all. It looked promising, but it came to nothing in the end. Vella looking for Taylor. Smith away. Nichols. Madison. It's a good ball if Coulthurst can bring it down, and he has. And he's against Wheater here. Well defended by Wheater. Coulthurst needs support here. Excellent work from the experienced David Wheater. Amiobi.
Brilliant, Sam. George.
Forrester, the Peterborough captain, scared to have a few touches of the ball. Smith running at Taylor. Back for Forrester. Lets it run across his body to get the shot away. Trotser with the block. A couple of goals this season for Chris Forrester, the last over a month ago against Bury. He signed a new 3-year deal with the club. The only ever present this season in the league for Peterborough, Chris Forrester. Here's Hughes. Coulthurst looking to spin away from Wilson. Was that a foul? Wilson will keep it in. Amiobi up the line. Infield is Vella. He's half the ball just as the pass was being delivered. Madison for Nichols. Beavers does enough. Bolton Wanderers relegated from the Championship last season, of course, relegated from the Premier League in 2012 after an 11-year stay up there. And that stay included 4 top 10 finishes. Best they managed in their time up there, 6th in 2005. Amiobi's cross, headed away wide Baldwin, out as far as Thorpe. Boswick throwing himself to block that one. Madison looking towards Coulthurst, who's taking both Beavers and Wheater on. Force wide, now he's got Wilson to contend with. Madison. Clipped by Trotter, free kick. Good position this for Peterborough as well. Boswick or Madison. Probably favours the right foot of Boswick, but Madison more accurate with his left. Unless Madison touches it to his right for Boswick to come and crack. And there's the case. Boswick's hit it well. Hasn't scored since August, Michael Boswick. It's well wide in the end. Stays 1-0. I just feel that at some stage in this game, Bolton are going to have a sustained spell of pressure and provide some quality, because up until now there's not been much of it from them. Thorpe for Taylor. They've lost 3 games all season, Bolton Wanderers. Given away loosely by Wilson. Forrester. Good run here from Coulthurst. Trying to win the corner here from Wilson and succeeds. 4 in the first half for Peterborough. Tafazoli and Hughes joining Baldwick in that penalty area. Madison. Coulthurst. And a strike from Boswick. Nichols will keep it alive, or will try to do so. Losing out to Wilson, but it's a poor clearance from him. Straight to Forrester. Out by Amiobi. Madison anticipated the clearance. Up goes Hughes. And Thorpe to clear for Bolton. Here's Trotter. Vela. Bolton still missing some of their more experienced campaigners through injury. Likes of Jay Spearing, Mark Davis, Dorian DeVeet, Darren Pratley, all absent still. There's Medine, surely impeded by Tafazoli. Joined the club from Mansfield in the summer, Ryan Tafazoli. Now can Bolton Wanderers capitalise on this set piece? Beavers and Wheater both in the mix, both have scored this season. Luke McGee issuing instructions to his two-man wall. Zach Clough over the ball. Hush descends on the Abax Stadium as Clough lifts it in. Up goes Wheater. Tafazoli gets it away. Back for Wilson. Goalkeeper shout, but I don't think it would have reached him. Forrester with a chance to clear. Unnecessary shove by Vela. They should have learnt by now that today's referee, Jeremy Simpson, is giving free kicks all the time for that kind of contact. Forrester was somewhat boxed in on this corner there. Vela enables he and Peterborough now to clear the danger much more simply. Medine for Sammy Amiobi. Still to deliver one of those trademarks dazzling runs of his. Cross is low, dealt with by Boswick. Now Lopez. Now Madison. Coulthurst was on the shoulder of Wheater. Beavers. Taylor. Vela. Thorpe. Trotter. A bit more controlled this from Bolton. Taylor with a chance to cross. Ditto Trotter. And well defended. It was Baldwin who got his head to it. And Hughes who prevents the corner. Bolton looking to come again with Wilson. Thorpe. A little bit too lackadaisical there under the challenge of Nichols. Worked hard to get it back. Good hold-up play from Coulthurst. But Amiobi has dispossessed him now. Stopped by Boswick. Vela. Getting it back from Amiobi. Finding Taylor. looking for Clough. Plenty back for Peterborough. Trotter. Far side is Wilson. Disappointing delivery. Second chance. Wheater will try instead.
United. There's 45 minutes, possibly more. Extra time is due if these teams finish level. It's Paul Kearney who kicks off for the second half. Ballatoni into the feet of Docherty, who's been holding that midfield, and he's now holding his foot. Not the start he was looking for in the second half. Well, Michael, is this the sort of game that is going to take one moment of quality perhaps to win it?
It could well be. Yeah, I think that there's not a great deal between the two sides. It's, sometimes it'll just be like a set play that could make the difference between the winning and losing of the tie. Fine margins.
Fleming is able to come all the way out for his goal. It's keeper to keeper. Gallagher just held a little in the air. Mackenzie just knocks it out. Guffey comes short, but goes to Crawford, and Irvine has it. Plenty of experience for Gary Irvine. On by Sutton. McKenna is there, booked in the first half. He and Gary Mackenzie, the two picking up the yellow cards. There's Paddy Doyle, who picked up that sore one in the first half. Looks to have been dressed up, but still, it's never a nice one.
No, especially not on a cold November day. Getting a boot in the face, not something that you're looking forward to.
Mackenzie just having to turn back to goal. Comes Forrest. It's nicely done. Devlin surely taken out of the play. No, says Crawford Allen. Gary Irvine turns away innocently.
Slightly surprising. I thought at first viewing it, it looked like a foul, but we'll see again from the replay. Yeah, I think that one for me is a foul. I think that Gary Irvine knows what he's doing there. And there was enough time and space between the two players to avoid the collision.
Crawford Allen just looking to take charge here. Ballatoni. Harkins enough to put off Baird. This is McGuffey. Looking to get down the left-hand side. Enough on the cross, but not enough for Forrest to be able to gain control. And McKenna arm in arm with John Sutton. Sutton holding off the man on loan from Aberdeen. A line from Naismith. Wants Jason Naismith to step back 10 paces. Naismith up the line for McAllister. Megan can knock it out. Naismith is now where he wanted to take the first throw. Got his way in the end. Mallon lofted into the box, but easy for Fleming. Baird. Perhaps fortunate that found a white jersey. Irvin. Clarkson offering the running. Clarkson taken quickly. Seen out by Devlin, but it will be a corner kick to St Mirren.
Devlin not too happy with Crawford Allen, thinking that it should have been a bye kick.
It's Mallon and short to Clarkson. Mallon again strikes it, but can't beat Greg Fleming down at his near post.
Again, well held from Fleming. But I think this shows you the quality that Stevie Mallon has. Good technique, good quality. Struck the ball very, very well.
Devlin now may well find his way into the book. Devlin carded for the challenge on Lewis Morgan.
I don't think there was any doubt that this was going to be a yellow card. I think his foot ended up being the highest part of his body when he went in there. There was no way that he was going to let Lewis Morgan get past him.
The captain is booked. Harkins, but nobody that far up for Ayr United. Naismith's header, Sutton. Again, it's left it for McAllister, and he opens it up nicely. Irvin now. Morgan. He's good with the right foot, but easily headed clear. Forrest up against Mallon, two under-21 Scotland colleagues. Good quick feet, given away in the end by Morgan. Mallon. Guinness. Naismith. McAllister the option. Make it now into Doherty. Just exchanging possession of the ball. That's going to be too far ahead of McAllister, you'd have thought. Just needed a little bit of extra help coming across from Conrad Ballatoni.
good defending from it. Experienced Conrad Ballatoni. Just recognising that, as you said, it needed the defender just to go out and usher it out. Otherwise, I think McAllister would have gotten the end of it.
Away by Baird. Both managers will start to begin to think about their options on the bench. I wonder, it's not the most mobile attack that St Mirren have with Sutton and Clarkson, but they do have pace on the bench, the likes of Lawrence Shankland, Tom Walsh as well. Could become an option.
Yeah, I would be surprised if the bench wasn't utilised. There's plenty of options there, just to try and mix it up a little bit, change things.
St Mirren in the second half really have squeezed the play into the United half. Kearney. Now Crawford. United a little quieter in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Baird's header. Clarkson could have taken that one in. Instead finds Morgan. Mallon now. Irvin. Back again to the playmaker Mallon. Free kick will go St Mirren's way.
Doherty's bemused by that one. I'm a bit surprised myself. I thought, he got enough of the ball that it wasn't full. He knocked out for a throw.
Well, we called for a little bit more pace in attack, and David Clarkson has run his race. And it will be Lawrence Shankland on loan from Aberdeen. Got the extra time winner in round 3 against Albion Rovers here. He hasn't scored since then, but he's a player who has been here for a couple of seasons on loan, previously at Queen's Park as well, where he scored a number of goals for them. Gary Irvin, right-footed, and time for McKenzie to flick on. Mallon, back to the centre-back. McKenzie lofted over the top. Shankland provides the run, but he can't find Lewis Morgan. Irvin, McKenzie's still up there, providing the target. Harkins looking to get on the ball from Devlin. McAllister running into a congested area though. Megget just took a chance there. McAllister was all over him. He'll be relieved to get that back to his goalkeeper. Away by McKenzie. He's back in the line of 4 across the back for St Mirren. Crawford. Forrest. Now Harkins. Forrest just caught on his heels a little. Sutton closing down McKenna. And now Ian McCall is reacting to the change, and Alan Forrest will make way. Looks like another centre forward coming on, Andy O'Connell. The Irishman yet to score for Ayr United, moved over from Cobb Ramblers in the summer. Provide point of attack. It might allow Gary Harkins just to drop a little. Shankland to Sutton. Now McAllister. Morgan the only one in the middle, but Shankland now joining him. Sutton too. McAllister. Shankland's at the back post. It goes across looking for Sutton. Nicely done by Irvine. Shankland now. And he drills it high and wide.
It was a good work move from St Mirren. Ended up with McAllister putting the ball in for Shankland round the back. You see here Shankland recognising just to knock it back across goal rather than trying to have a header on target himself. John Sutton just failed to get in front of Ballatoni at the front post.
Harkins on the chest, and now he's got to chase back against Morgan, and the younger man proving he has the legs against Gary Harkins. This is great play by Lewis Morgan. Now Shankland. Challenge coming in from Docherty. Irvine did well to win that for McGuinness. Now Naismith. The home fans encouraged by this spell. McGuinness to Naismith. It's good play, and Kearney had a swing at him, and that will certainly be a booking for Kearney. Naismith just needs to calm down to make sure he doesn't join him.
I think quite clearly it was always going to be a yellow card. Naismith raging because he'd got into a wonderful position, a really nice three-man move there, releasing Naismith. I guess his legs swiped away, and yeah, he wasn't best pleased by it.
But it's obvious as they come. Paul Kearney is booked. Now Stevie Mallon, does he have the craft to come up with something special? It's a good ball in. Well dealt with by the Ayr United defence under some severe pressure.
Yeah, it was a wonderful ball. Again, just showing that the talent that Stevie Mallon's got from set plays from the dead ball.
Now Mallon. McGuinness. Naismith. To McAllister. Can these three work something again to get in behind? It's McAllister, but cut out by Megget, but Naismith has it back. And Morgan, skies high, his big moment.
St Mirren just beginning to build up a bit of pressure on Ayr United. Poor play there from Crawford, not to clear his lines, and eventually it lands at Morgan's feet there and he blazes it way over the bar. Stevie Mallon not too happy. He was looking for it just to be laid to him on the edge of the box. But that's a few minutes now where St Mirren have started to contain or keep Ayr United in their defensive third.
It's a fine pass by Morgan to McAllister, and Megget with a crucial block. They've still kept the three up front of Ayr United. Andy O'Connell more the focal point of that. Harkins will play off him with McGuffey wider. It's McGuinness, just too much on it for Sutton. But it's certainly the home side that looked the more likely with over an hour played. And it could do so much for the confidence if St Mirren could manage to get a victory. 4 defeats on the bounce to start off Jack Ross's reign. Naismith away by Docherty. McKenna again repels the attack. Baird has time now, being closed down by O'Connell. Sutton. McGuinness, who Took a rap in the back of the legs by Ross Docherty.
Yeah, it's fortunate to get away with it, Docherty. Late on McGuinness, the ball was away.
Mallon in, and Mackenzie couldn't climb. It's the first meeting in this competition between these two since 2001. Ayr United were 3-1 winners that day. Gary Teal, Sheeran and Eddie Anand getting the goals. Mark Yardley on target for St Mirren that day. Mackenzie, towering header. Shankland. Morgan, he's having more and more of an influence on the play, and now slips in Sutton. Crucial challenge by Devlin, and he timed it perfectly before Shankland mistimed his.
Yeah, and again it's that man Morgan who's just added a bit of pace, injected it into the side here with a drive and run, and then a nice little pass in there. That's a wonderful tackle from Devlin. And you see Megget coming across as well and closing the space off for Sutton, but that's a fantastic tackle from Devlin before, as you said, he gets wiped out as well. But again, St Mirren keeping the pressure on Ayr United. Jack Ross will be happy with this period of play, but he'll be looking for them to convert that pressure into getting the goal that the side really does need.
This has been the Iron Brew Cup where St Mirren have been at their most prolific. 4 against Albion Rovers in the first round, 2 away at Hibs in round 3 rather, that they played Albion Rovers. It's in the league where they've really struggled for goals, just 10 in their opening 12 games. Harkins, nice turn. Docherty, back it comes to Kearney. Docherty offered himself. McGuffey now, that's a great ball in from McGuffey, and the chance breaks for Andy O'Connell, and Ayr United have snatched the opening goal, a rare chance, and it's the Irishman off the bench to score his first goal for the club.
Well, you see Gallagher's disappointed. Talk about a sucker punch. It's been all St Mirren in the last wee while, and it's a lovely work move from Ayr United, though you've got to say a good overlap and run there from Megget. Gallagher comes steaming out, closes them down well, but it just breaks the Irishman O'Connell, and he finishes it really well. A lovely pass there from McGuffey as well. There's a good finish, composed finish from O'Connell. You see that there inside Naismith, the fullback. Gallagher does really well to come out and close them down, but it just breaks to the one Ayr man in there, and he finishes it really well. Now, it's a big test for St Mirren. They've got to make sure they don't let their heads drop, which could easily happen. You're low in confidence, you start playing quite well, but you don't convert that pressure like I was talking about. It's a test of their character here to make sure and see if they can continue to keep that level going. After that man O'Connell's put his side Ayr United in front.
He comes from a talented family. His brother Owen is a centre-back for Celtic. Played in Europe this season at the beginning of the campaign under Brendan Rodgers. His cousin, Paul O'Connell, famous Irish and British and Irish Lions lock forward. Mallon. Now St Mirren have to find a way back into this contest. So little has gone their way this season. And if they can't turn this around, they are staring down another defeat. Well, substitution worked for Ian McCall.
Yeah, he'll be delighted. So he will. Whereas that man, Jack Ross, will be left pondering what it is he needs to do to find a win for his side.
And it came just when St Mirren were looking probably at their best throughout the game so far.
Yeah, it was. It was the period of the game where they'd started to really dominate, cause Ayr some problems, but now look at what a goal does. Fills the team full of confidence.
Crawford got that in well, and O'Connell proving a problem once again. And there's a man down for St Mirren.
I think Baird's taking a wee knock there on his head. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. But yet again, it just shows you how goals change games. All of a sudden, O'Connell's goal has changed the momentum. It's shifted it back into Ayer's favour, and they're on the front foot. As I said, this is the test now for St Mirren. It's a real test of their character after this wonderful worked move. McGuffey with a really nice inside pass there. Meggett with a great run in. And you know, O'Connell, he's finished that really well. It's through a tight gap, you see, with that camera angle. So yeah, it's a test for St Mirren, whether they can maintain the performance that they were putting in just prior to that goal, because that's what they have to do. They've got to keep doing the right things, keep getting the pressure on Ayr, and hope that they'll be able to convert one of those chances that they create and get them back into the game.
Well, now the reaction coming from Jack Ross rather, and on is coming Tom Walsh, and he's replacing Jack Baird. Tom Walsh, certainly an attacking player. He can play left or down the middle. He's on loan from Rangers. Him that scored an 89th minute equaliser down at Somerset Park.
Well, it's very much an attacking formation now. It looks like three at the back and almost like a front four or five. It's a really, really attacking lineup now from Jack Ross.
Connell chasing that down. It was well dealt with in the end. Shankland. Well, he certainly couldn't accuse Jack Ross of not going for this. It's just a 35-mile trip up the M77, one of the shorter ones for Ayr United supporters. They're enjoying this. Kearney. McGuffey thought about turning into trouble and saw the danger. Crawford might have a chance of getting to that. An important challenge from Mackenzie. Looks second favourite there.
That really was an important tackle, Rory. As you said, it looked as if he was second best. Looked like he was never going to get it, but those long legs managed to just nick it away from Kearney, who was driving forward.
It's Doherty. Important last quarter of an hour for Jack Ross. priorities will certainly be remaining in the championship, but a cup run can spark confidence levels, get players' forms on an up curve. This is Shanklin now to Morgan. Mallon on the left foot, shapes it back onto the right. Now it comes to McAllister. Morgan can't turn away from Megan. It's nicely done. Calm under pressure. Harkins now. Well, he took a barge in the back from Naismith. The home crowd certainly do not agree with that decision from Crawford Allen.
You think? No, he definitely did not. I think there's a wee bit of I'm not happy that I think it was soft, but I think the fact that it was Gary Harkins as well adds to we see this good bit of skill from Mallon on the edge of the box, good feet to work the angle.
I think it was probably going wide, but it's another good block by Devlin, who's made a couple of crucial challenges throughout this match.
Yeah, he has. Just as we're watching McGuffey working his way down the line there, I tell you, he's a player who's come more and more into the game. Impressive young player.
It was his crucial pass that opened up the St Mirren back four that allowed Daryl Meggett to get in, and the ball eventually breaking for Andy O'Connell. And that has been the key moment. That's what separates these two teams and has Ayr United with 1 foot in the semi-finals. Meggett again. Now it's Kearney. No way past Kyle McGuinness. Well, Craig McGuffey has had one of the most telling influences in this second half, and the youngster, just 18 years old from Troon, will go off, and it will be Mickey Donald to come on just to try and shore things up in the middle of the park for Ian McCall.
Yeah, McGuffey did come on to a game, as I was just saying there before he was getting taken off. An impressive player who's had a big impact on the game.
Well, something that possibly allows Ayr United to go more 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1 perhaps. We'll see how it turns out. O'Connell. Sutton now onto Shankland. And Walsh is in space, but the flag is up against the loanee from Rangers.
He really shouldn't be. You see when the ball breaks for Shankland, Walsh is looking on the far side, right along the back line of Ayr United. He needs to time his run better and make sure he doesn't drift offside.
Here's Mallon. Meggett can't turn away from McAllister, and Mallon is in with the challenge. This is where St Mirren need their big players to try and claw their way back into this quarter-final. O'Connell closes down McKenzie. The ball spins out of play. Ayr United have got St Mirren exactly where they want them. Shanklin loses out. Harkins to O'Connell. He couldn't quite keep his feet. And in flies Gary Harkins.
pinballing around for a little bit. I think that could have perhaps been a free kick for O'Connell, and then yeah, there's no doubt you can't go lunging in like that. But Harkins and McGuinness, just a wee slap of the hands, get on with the game.
Kenzie, Naismith, now the right side of a back three for St Mirren. It's nowhere near Shanklin or Sutton. Now it's the substitute, Donald. Kearney just waits, sensible. Take an extra 10, 15, 20 seconds off the clock. Into the final 10 minutes. Neggett looking for O'Connell. Harkins now looking to provide something special. It's Devlin. Harkins once more. Harkins turns and opens up for creative player. And now that's a ball that certainly interests St Mirren. It's Morgan. And he just let it get too far ahead of him. Again, his pace though looks a danger on the break for St Mirren.
It does. I mean, it was a really good ball from Mallon, who would have got Jack Ross excited and hopeful that Morgan could have done something with it and make something out of it as he played the ball inside Conrad Ballatoni. But once he got too close to the pylon, he's maybe got to try and recognise he needs to cut infield. There wasn't much space for him to go outside the defender after that.
Mallon to McAllister. And McGuinness. McAllister again. Plenty to aim for, but they're all marked men. This is Walsh. Up against Crawford. He's there for Irvin. Mallon now. It's struck on the volley by Sutton! A controlled volley into the corner of the net, and that is exactly what St Mirren needed. John Sutton comes up with a big goal for his manager, and it ties the game up at 1-1.
How big could that goal be for Jack Ross and St Mirren? Not just in the Iron Brew Cup, but the season as a whole. Huge relief for the St Mirren manager. Again, that man Stevie Mallon, he's the one with the ball. I tell you, what a wonderful finish from John Sutton, just to guide that into the corner. And Greg Fleming, who, look at this from the angle, outside McKenna, the defender, and inside the post. And that man in goals for Ayr United, Greg Fleming, who's had a wonderful game, even he couldn't stop that. No need to smash it from John Sutton. He doesn't leather it, he just guides it. The pace was on the cross to begin with, and just guides into that far corner. A wonderful finish, and as I said, that could be a huge, huge goal for St Mirren. Not just in this competition, but the league as well, because there's no doubt getting a result of any form in any competition is something that's much needed here.
And St Mirren fancy a complete turnaround here. It's Mallon out to Walsh. We've got all these attacking options on the pitch. All the way over for McAllister. McGuinness. McAllister again. Naismith to McGuinness. This is great play from St Mirren. Cut back, and it's turned in. 2 goals in the matter of 2 minutes, and it's come from Sutton again. He is the man for this competition. He scored the winner when they took the title in 2005, and he scored scored too late on to turn this tie on its head.
You look at the bench and they look calm, cool and composed. I'm pretty sure they're jumping around, elated inside. What a great little move from St Mirren. Again, a little slide rule pass inside the fullback. And at first I thought McGuinness had missed the chance to get the cutback. You see here as Naismith slides it in, I'm thinking, cut it back there. But then he goes past McKenna and gets the cutback. And thankfully for St Mirren, it wasn't too late, because he finds John Sutton, who sticks the ball in the back of the net, and that is huge. 2 goals inside a minute, both from John Sutton, and as I said before with the first goal, that could be huge in the context of the season for St Mirren.
Well, now the question turns to Ayr United, and what can they do to try and resurrect their Iron Brew Cup hopes? Well, Ian McCall will not believe how these last few minutes have turned out. It is disbelief on the face of the manager.
Well, he's shaking his head in disbelief. They were in a comfortable position with 10 minutes to go, or even less than 10 minutes to go, and it's been turned on its head.
St Mirren have been looking for the kickstart to their season. Could this be it?
Fair play to Jack Ross, because he changed the formation. He went 3 at the back, he threw 4-5 almost in a front line. He took a huge gamble.
A 3-2-5, it's a throwback to the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, that is what that is what he set up like. And huge credit to him, because he took the gamble.
Mallon with the corner, Naismith to make it safe. It's off the crossbar from Shankland and knocked over by Sutton, who so nearly had a hat-trick within 4 minutes.
Unbelievable stuff now. Another wonderful ball in from Mallon. As it comes out there, if not for, I think it's Megget, if not for him, it would have been a hat-trick for Sutton.
Well, St Mirren will make a further change, and on is coming Jordan Stewart to replace Kyle McAllister, former Scotland schoolboy international, 20 years age, and he did start against Ayr United previously. The corner is delivered in. Well, Sutton has now scored 6 goals, and this is second spell with the club. 3 of them have come in the Iron Brew Cup.
And Jack Ross will be delighted that Big John Sutton has managed to get the 2 goals here. But I go back to that, changing of the formation, taking the gamble. The manager's got to take huge credit for that, because at a stage where you've lost 4 in a row, you're looking at staring a 5th defeat in a row since you've taken over. You've got to have real belief and confidence in yourself and your side to go and do what Jack Ross did. Throw caution to the wind, and it looks as if he's come up trumps with it.
Here's Megget. It's now Ayr United who have to throw everything forward. Harkins trying to turn away from his man. Devlin. Away by Naismith. Then McGuinness. Devlin once more. And Shankland has got a chase on here. Lewis Morgan is down inside his own half. Well, the final moments of normal time, and it's Ayr United who have it all to do. It didn't look that way just 8 minutes ago. St Mirren have turned this to grab a place in the semi-finals. Time is the enemy now for Ayr United. It's well swung in. The header from Shankland, but it was a push and it won't count. The glorious short-lived for Lawrence Shankland.
I think it is the right call from Crawford Allen. Good play down the right there, throw the ball in. You see Devlin before Shankland even heads it, he's got his arms up claiming for the free kick, and I think there was a shove from Shankland there.
And Ayr United hopes are still alive. It's touched in by Docherty. O'Connell's header is easy enough for Scott Gallagher. Well, Michael, who's had the biggest influence, and maybe an obvious question, but who is your Iron Brew Cup man of the match?
I think purely because of the impact on the game, John Sutton has got to be man of the match. And we've spoken about clearly how big this result could be, not just in the Iron Brew Cup, but for St Mirren's season, for Jack Ross's tenure at St Mirren as well. So John Sutton, he's the man of the match with those 2 goals that have turned this game on its head inside the last 10 minutes of the game.
Three minutes to be added. We have had half of that. Ayr United's involvement in this competition is on the brink. McGuinness up to Shankland. He's made a difference since he's come on for St Mirren. O'Connell now. He looked to be the man that had won it for Ayr United. McGuinness now to Mallon and Morgan, trying to run away from Devlin and run down the clock.
Perhaps just showing a little bit of inexperience there. He didn't have to beat the defender, just run it into the corner, run the clock down.
Touched on by O'Connell. Harkins can't control it. Mallon. Morgan. Taken out by Crawford. That will be a yellow card for the midfielder. And that actually should be enough to completely run down the clock for St Mirren.
That's a wild tackle.
Nowhere near an attempt to play the ball there for Crawford.
You can hear the St Mirren fans are not too happy that it's only a yellow card.
Well, and with that you wonder if Ayr United's final chances have gone. They've really struggled to test Scott Gallagher since they went 1-1 and then subsequently 2-1. They have the ball back here, and it's Harkins, and maybe just there is one last chance, but Harkins studs, let him down, and St Mirren celebrate quite a dramatic turnaround. Jack Ross has his first victory as St Mirren manager, and he has John Sutton to thank for it. It looked like they were on course for a 5th straight defeat. One down after Andy O'Connell gave Ayr United what was a shock lead at the time, because St Mirren were in control of their destiny. Jack Ross threw everything at it. A team full of attacking options. He threw them all onto the park. The one man that remained was John Sutton, the man who scored their winning goal in the 2005 final, came up trumped in the 83rd minute to equalise. The second came in the 85th, and it's St Mirren who go through to the semi-finals after a victory by 2-1.